Welcome to Helping Hands. This is where we recognise the amazing people across Australia who make the world a better place. Coming up today,
if you don't know what makes you worth protecting, you won't stand up for yourself and you won't stand up for others.
Empowering mums and their daughters.
Overcoming addiction for me changed my life.
The panel, join Laura in the studio, and we invite you to connect at helpinghands.tv. In recent years, the cases of domestic violence and abuse of women and girls has increased, leaving some victims with a lifetime of scars to deal with. One woman who is looking to change the trend is Mel Thomas. Mel is the founder of Key Up, an education and mentoring group that empowers young women to spot the signs of domestic violence and abusive relationships, and also provides training in self-defence.
Today we're hosting a Mums and Daughters workshop, and we have 80 local women from the Northern Beaches coming down. We're doing an empowerment program. By the end of it, we're going to be teaching the girls how to use their voices, stand up for themselves, stand up for each other. We're going to be showing the girls some basic self-defense moves, and yeah, it's going to be a big transformation for a lot of the kids. Key Up is a charity. We are Australia's premier violence prevention education service. It was created to break the cycle of family and domestic violence at the grassroots. Thank you so much for coming here today. I'm really, really proud and honoured to be doing this workshop with you guys. Key Up Project is in the very exciting stage of bringing on 50 female black belt martial artists, and we're going to be delivering this program all over the country. I want you all to close your eyes. I want you to imagine that you're standing on a busy main road, and you're standing there at a set of lights, waiting for the lights to change, when you've just been king hit in the back of the head by some guy you've never seen before and never see again. I don't have to imagine it, that's exactly what happened to me. This guy punched me so hard that my 2 front teeth were knocked out. These are not my teeth. Now, there was people everywhere, but what do you think they did? They moved away. Really importantly, we work with women and children in crisis, and we help them overcome those really critical triggers that hold them back in so many areas of their lives. We go where we're needed to give a whole community a language and skills to protect themselves and to protect each other. So on the count of 3, can you say Key Up and then feel your stomach tense up? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Key Up. Louder. 1, 2, 3. Key Up. Excellent. Good. Key Up means to shout. It's a Korean word that we use in martial arts, and it's literally giving girls, women, and boys a voice. Well done. Give yourselves a round of applause.
I think these sorts of programs are so important, and it's the first time that I've come across one that does it specifically for girls and their mothers. So I was really, really excited to see that the council was involved in promoting this particular program.
Every technique that I teach you today is designed for you to create some distance and do my #1 self-defense tip, which is to run.
Some of the work we do with them allows them to let people know about their personal space.
So from there, if you come up this way, it's much harder.
They can be brave, they can speak up, use their voice to get out of a situation.
Now this back leg is going to do a knee, and it looks like this. Kia! 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 We've just selected a whole heap of really impactful and useful techniques that any girl can do, no matter her size or her skill or her fitness level. I'm gonna stand under, and as I do, can you feel that? Okay, now I'm behind her. I'm gonna push her away. Yeah! Give her a round of applause, it was pretty good. I want you to know that you're here because you're gonna end up being so powerful that you've got techniques that could actually save your life.
She immediately relaxes everybody, makes them feel involved. I think that shows a remarkable style of person who can really build trust with people very quickly and easily, and then empower them to actually get into their own power.
Step under and behind. Good, now you're in control. Push away. Excellent. The reason we put such an emphasis on self-esteem is because if you don't know what makes you worth protecting, you won't stand up for yourself and you won't stand up for others. So self-worth is so important. Under. Yeah. Yeah. It's strong, huh?
I've actually looked at this for a couple of years, and then now Gemma's 13. It's just a really great, important skill for them to learn as kids, and it's something that we can do together, and it's going to bond us and actually help both of us learn the skills.
The first technique I ever learned was the one that saved my life in a situation, and that was when I was 12 years old. So the fact that we're showing techniques today, hopefully they'll never have to use it, but they might have a handful of techniques that they can draw on, means that definitely can save their life.
Don't go anywhere. There's more to come.
3, 2, 1, key up. Wow.
They're getting up in front of people, showing that they're strong and they can break through their fears, is very empowering to those girls up there.
So here's what we're going to do at the end of this workshop. Are you ready? Yeah! Okay, you're going to be doing that. Sound good? Yes? Okay, good. We've worked with more than 10,000 women and kids already. It's just so worth it to see them use their own strength and their own power and know their worth. The mums love that their daughters have practical self-defense techniques and skills and tips to be safe in the moment. They love how much it makes their kids feel more confident, and I think they love having something that they can do together. So they're going to go home and they're going to be grabbing each other's hands, they're pulling each other's hair, and they're going to practice all these techniques that they've just learned. Oh my God, that was amazing. Well done.
This program is specifically targeted to give people self-confidence and to teach them self-defence. There's a lot of domestic violence going on, so to give them that extra skills, those extra power, so they know exactly what they can do in those situations, I think is just priceless.
I think it's time to break through our fears. The wood is such an important part of our workshop because it really represents the barrier that the girls are going to have to break through. On one side, they've got all the good things. And just like in real life, on the other side, they've got all the bad stuff. And so they stand there, they get in their fighting stance, and they get ready to break through their limiting self-beliefs. We have real breakboards that we use in martial arts classes. So, you know, it's not fake, it's real. I think that sense of confidence and power that they have is real. Well done. That was amazing. It's such an amazing experience watching them discover that inner strength and then bring it. All right, can she do it? You can do it. Key up. Whoa. 3, 2, 1, key up. Wow.
It's giving you that empowerment feeling of strength. It takes a lot of courage and bravery to step up there and do it in front of everyone as well. So the fact that they're getting up in front of people, showing that they're strong and they can break through the board, break through their fears, is very empowering to those girls up there.
And key up. Good.
When the board broke, it felt pretty good. It was liberating for some reason, so yeah.
I was actually pretty surprised, but, you know, felt pretty powerful, felt like I would do it again.
The future for Key Up is this. We have an army of black belt, female, all empowering instructors all across the nation doing self-worth and self-defense programs in schools, in community groups. We're doing it in shelters, we're doing it with the universities, and everybody is going to have Key Up power. Key Up! Nice.
It lifts you up, makes you feel 10 times better. I won't forget about this ever, like, very good.
I work in a school environment as well, so I think taking this through schools is just invaluable.
3, 2, 1, kia! Okay. Now it was good power, but you stopped. You gave it a slap. No slap. Ready? You can do this. Whoa! Whoa! You nailed it. Thank you.
I was nervous, first and foremost, and then I had doubt, thinking, I don't know if I can do this. And then when I hit it the first time and I didn't break it, I realised how hard it actually was. And then she said to me, keep bringing it forward or keep coming through. And I just thought, focus on her, don't even look at this. And that's when I just kind of went home with it. And it was amazing.
Came once before with my elder daughter, and now I come with my younger daughter.
I found it quite, like, making me believe in myself, because it was, like, when I was breaking the board, it felt like, part of me was saying, I can't do it, and part of me was saying, I can do it.
One of those workshops where girls feel empowered and feel like they can look after themselves.
I want you to repeat after me. Ready? I am strong.
I am strong.
I am courageous.
I am courageous.
I am worth protecting.
I am worth protecting.
Kia!
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 If you are a helping hand or would like to see a helping hand from your local community featured on this program, visit our website and be in touch. We'd love to hear about the people and organisations across Australia who are making the world a better place.
It's good to see young people being empowered to take positive and proactive steps in all areas of their lives. Visit the Helping Hands directory on our website to find out more about Mel Thomas and to click through to Kia. Welcome back to Helping Hands. This is where we celebrate the people who make the world a better place. The panel joins Laura in the studio and look at how we can make positive contributions in all areas of our lives.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us. With us on the panel today, we have sobriety writer and speaker Justine Whitchurch, Colette Smart, psychologist and teacher, and also the former CEO of Wesley Mission, Keith Garner. Thank you all so much for being with us today. Keith, I want to ask you on this topic of addiction, what is addiction? What does it mean to be addicted to something?
Well, I think addiction has a hold on our lives. There's no question about that. It's either in terms of time or it sucks everything out of us once an addiction takes hold. It takes a time to recognise that it's that. At first, we don't even think there's any addiction element to it. Sometimes it takes another person. Sometimes it takes a self-observation to recognise that something's happened. But addiction does happen. And in the work that I did, I found addiction to be one of the major issues that happened in our community in terms of many of the addictions that occur. The most powerful addiction in our country comes in a bottle. And the reason it comes in a bottle is it's anybody can go and buy it, anybody can, and you realise it takes hold of people's lives. But it takes some time to recognise it. And it does take our time, it takes our attention, it takes hold of our lives. And sometimes unknowingly, it takes over.
Is addiction always related to substance abuse though, or can it come in other forms?
Oh, I think it can come in other forms.
Oh, I think addiction sits in our pockets.
Yeah.
It's the little screen. And I mean, that's not to say we're all addicted to our phones, and they're amazing and they're necessary. And, you know, we can go on about all the wonders of technology. And we need to be careful that it's not just the amount of time that you're spending with technology, which means you're addicted. You know, you can kind of sometimes measure other addictions with technology, it's difficult because doing online banking isn't addictive. I mean, goodness, eventually at some point you run out of money. There's other things that you do online that are necessary and wonderful and they're part of connection. But an addiction usually shows itself when it's affecting you very often physically. You might neglect your hygiene, you might neglect eating in healthy ways. It will show itself socially, so it affects your social relationships, people that you love, you withdraw from them, you don't do the things that you used to love doing, and then emotionally and mentally, you often start to feel down or depressed, or you self-medicate to try and overcome those feelings.
How has living with addiction affected your life, Justine?
Oh, well, it nearly took my life. So dramatically, but I think, you know, overcoming addiction for me changed my life considerably. I value the relationships I have. I value being present. I value my health. It's certainly brought me to a place where I have clarity of thought. I make better decisions and better choices. So it's impacted me, you would say negatively in if you looked from the outside in, because, you know, it nearly did take my life. That's no exaggeration. However, I would not have the wisdom and the capacity to do what I do now, which is help other people find their way out, if I hadn't actually gone down that rabbit hole myself. So, you know, there is an element that I'm so grateful for that it took me to that place.
I just think one of the things also is addiction isn't one type of person that has this challenge. When a person is facing alcohol addiction, you may say, oh, well, alcohol addiction is the man who has a bottle on the beach or in the park. Right. It can be somebody who is highly professional. It's not a man or a woman, it's either.
No, it doesn't discriminate whatsoever.
And I think that's important about all addiction, that we shouldn't put things in a box and say that's the person who's dealing with this, when the reality is far greater. And that's why I appreciate hearing the story of somebody who's come through that journey, because that's an important one.
There's so many elements to it. You know, it's not just a person's temperament. There's so many other aspects. Someone could be going through enormous life changes, or there could have been a trauma, or it could just be peer pressure. That's another big one. Peer pressure is another part of why some people go down a certain path, and others seem to not get as hooked on that area as the person who is more vulnerable.
And it depends on you know, what it is, substances and things like that. I think, you know, alcohol for many people is medication. It's not necessarily going out to have fun. And what we can have all the willpower in the world, but at the end of the day, you're consuming an addictive substance. So it's physiologically you're challenged. It's no amount of willpower that's necessarily going to take you to a place that says, oh, well, I'm just not going to drink today. Your body's hooked and your mind's hooked. So it's a completely different challenge.
What we also need to remember, if you are somebody who has struggled with addictive tendencies or substances in the past, it's so important to have those routines and plans beforehand, because when you are in a challenging situation or something's going wrong and you don't have those plans in place, like your exercise and your eating that you mentioned, Justine, and those support people that you can lean on and say, I know I'm going on holiday and that's my time when I feel like I slip a little bit. I need to text you every day or have a phone call or whatever it is. I think it's important to have those in place beforehand.
The sad thing is, though, is those sorts of support mechanisms, usually you don't get them into place until you have an issue. They're great for your maintenance for somebody like me now who has been sober a long time. I need those as my maintenance, but it's not until you get to a point where you realise you're out of control, because you don't have that. Otherwise, you potentially wouldn't be in that position to begin with.
There's a lot of people watching who may know people experiencing addiction, see it in others. How do we support someone who is impacted by addiction?
Well, I think you've got to walk alongside them, not kind of giving the message from above, this is what you must do. But they must see in you, whoever you are, that there is a better way.
Thank you guys so much for your thoughts on the subject today. Appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who's watching as well.
If there's a topic that you'd like to see discussed on Helping Hands, visit our website and be in touch. We love talking about the things that make the world a better place.
What do you think of the points made by our panel today? Do you agree or have more questions? Join the conversation on our social channels via helpinghands.tv. Feeling safe and secure as a woman and being empowered and confident to live your way is something that should be and is becoming part of our everyday. I'd like to encourage you to consider what you can do to empower yourself and the women in your life to be the best versions of themselves.
Let us know about the Helping Hands in your local community at helpinghands.tv. Send a photo or a short video and tell us about your local heroes in 25 words or less.
Special thanks to Laura and the panel, to Mel Thomas and the team at KeyUp, and also to you for joining us. Follow us on social media and join the movement of people who are looking to make the world a better place. See you next week.